Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Women Healing Together. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We're happy to have you. And if you are already a part of the Women Healing Together family, short WHT family, we are so happy to have you. Now, Women Healing Together is our channel, as the name suggests. It deals with all things women, how we heal in different areas of our lives, how we can be better, but we don't do it alone, we do it together. So thank you for coming. All right, now specifically, you are tuned in right now to the talk show that is aired on our channel, and it's called Talk Truth. And it is a safe space and a safe place where we tackle the issue of childhood sexual abuse and help women who are on their road of healing. So, welcome again. I am your host and I am your girl, Popsan Francis. Now, guess what? I'm excited, like really excited, because we have made it through season 2. Like, yes, season 2 is here, and it has been a journey, a lot of planning, a lot of organizing. There were evenings when I was like so exhausted, so tired. But you know, when your purpose is bigger than you are and your why is bigger than you are, and you know that you have been given a God mandate, right? A God-given mandate to do something, and it's not about you. And you know, sometime in the future, I hope to share something very significant that happened last December, December 2nd to be exact. I hope to share that with you. So let's see later on how that will go. So again, welcome. All right, so if you are just joining for the very first time, or maybe you became a part of the WHT family and you didn't know how it began. All right, so I'm saying so a lot, aren't I? La, la, la. All right, so there I go again. All righty. Therefore, let me use this. Let me use a synonym. WHT, Women Healing Together, started out of my experience of childhood sexual abuse. Like so many women, I have felt shame and guilt, anger, low self esteem, so many issues, and I didn't want to talk about it. Nobody spoke about childhood sexual abuse. It's the open secret in all over the world. Nobody wants to say, oh, I was abused sexually as a child. And especially in my context, being a pastor's wife, it's like, no, you don't talk about that at all. You don't. You're supposed to be like the Virgin Mary had a baby boy. But we know that's not how life is. Things happen. Bad things happen, not only to adults, bad things happen to children as well. And we grow and we become adults, and that's when really the whole gamut of the experience and effects just slap us in the face, and we don't have any safe place to talk about it. And that is how Women Healing Together came about. Out of pain came purpose. And though I rebelled against my God, Jesus Christ, my Lord and my Savior, for so long, I decided, okay, after I was the guest speaker of at a women's retreat, and I shared my story publicly for the first time. Well, let me slow down. Why am I going so fast, right? Yes. So I shared for the very first time, and from that, I decided to do an online course, and just started sharing on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, Pops and Francis, and my IG page, Women Healing Together. In fact, my IG page was first called Nick Snacks for Living because of my book. I should have had a copy here because you need to get a copy. Like, seriously, I need to, but I don't want to leave and come back. So eventually, right? You need to get a copy. It's on Amazon. It's called Nix, as in Knicks, Nax. Am I spelling it right? Knacks for living, motivation all around. I think my darling husband heard me talking about wanting a copy of the book, and I think he's gone into my office to get one for me. Right, honey? So I can show you. Hopefully, he can find it because I was packing up some stuff. And you know, men don't like to look for things, but he's trying. So I'm grateful. All right. So, yes. So I started on my personal Facebook page and my IG, which I later changed the name to Women Healing Together. And I just started sharing my story. And persons started coming online and started, oh, Popson, I didn't know. But let me tell you the truth. Sometimes, I think most of the times, human beings like a good story. So, of course, when I started and I was sharing my story, a lot of persons who have known me for years did not know. Yes, it's back to the beginning, right? So we're going all the way back, storytelling time. A lot of persons, they stuck around because, oh, I didn't know, Popsan, you went through that, and da 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 da. And that was awesome because at least persons were beginning to understand that you may see someone, you may know someone for years, but you don't know their pain. But I did not just want people to come around to hear a good story. Because at the end of the day, if we hear persons' stories and we are not helping, right? If we are not helping to share, if we are not helping to sensitize, if our behavior is not being changed, then it's better we didn't hear the story any at all. So that was my aim, not just for people to come in Jamaica, as we say, and get a good sus, so they can call them for they say, you don't know who come on Popsan show, or you didn't know that Popsan and she carried on so and so, and it's fine, it's good, but how can he hasn't found it? He came out, he hasn't found the book. You see, look in the box. Sorry, guys. Look in the box where the Bible is to the right of the bookshelf. I'm talking to my husband so he can find the book. But if not, it's fine. Yeah, so I started out by just coming on and I was the one talking, just having open conversations about things that I have experienced and just wanting people to be sensitized so at least we could start the conversation. If we started a conversation, then sensitization would have been the result, and hopefully if people become sensitized, if they become aware, then they would actually do something. Doing something means sharing the video. Simply just share the video, share the link, or be more vigilant, right? Be more vigilant as it relates to children who are around you. Be more vigilant about women who are in your sphere and in your company and see how you can help them to be better because you just don't know. In essence, be more compassionate. So that's how it started. And ironically, it started, my first episode, I believe, was January 29. That was unofficially season one because I thought I was just going to come on and do that one showing, just that one showing to launch my online course and to invite women to register so that I could take them through a 5 week course once per week where we go through and just go on a personal journey of upscaling ourselves and understanding who we are. So I thought it was just going to be one episode. But then I felt the urge, honey, it's kind of loud. He's searching all over the place. So, right. So that's what happened. And it turned into two, into three. And I remember feeling so disappointed. Here's a vulnerable moment now. I remember feeling so disappointed. I cried because I had spent some money to learn how to do online courses and two persons registered. I was so excited and then they canceled. I'm like, oh my God, I did so much prep and so much praying and so much fasting and so much researching. And I was so passionate and I really wanted to take just 10 women on a journey for 5 weeks, once per week. That's all I wanted to do to change their lives. And the two ladies canceled. They're still my darlings, and we communicate and we have a good relationship. But I was so disappointed, and I feel like I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this. And really, Talk Truth started out being called Talk Truth Wednesdays, right? That's how it started. Talk Truth Wednesdays. Yes. Yes. So that was it. So me ball, like for those of you who are not from Jamaica, me ball, me holla. I cried a whole lot back to the beginning, right? And I remember laying on my husband's chest. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore because nobody registered for the course. The two persons who registered, they canceled. And I was just a hot mess. Right? And he said to me, continue doing what you're doing. Don't stop. I'm like, I don't want to. Like, don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Don't tell me to continue doing what I'm doing because, and I was a mess for a little while. I continued. I continued coming on every first and third Wednesday. I remember when we migrated to Canada and I was working like 13 hours for the night. I only lasted 1 week. Couldn't manage the Amazon life. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And I switched to a noon. I did it noon. And then I said, you know what, it's not going to work out, you know? But eventually I did, I think, 16 episodes in the unofficial season 1, right? 16 episodes. And I did that. And then we started episode 2. So a little break now. Let me sip some water. If you are here with me live, say hello. Come on. Say hello. Type something in the chat. Up to now, the man can't find the book. Let me know you're here. Okay. So, yeah. So, season 1 ended, and we migrated to Canada like full time. And I was praying. I said, God, I want to launch out more. I want to reach more people. And out of nowhere, my past student, Sakleen, saw one of my episodes on Instagram, hunted me down. I think he found me on, was it IG or LinkedIn? He reached out, don't remember. But in essence, he hunted me down and he said, Miss, I would love to partner with you. I wanted to do a podcast, and I think this is just awesome. This is an awesome opportunity for us to just collaborate and just reach people in need. And I was so excited, right? So excited. So I said, fine, let's do this. So I started the YouTube channel, and we are a team of 3. Myself, Sakleen Wildman, no pun intended, my past student, businessman in his own right, doing very, very well, extremely proud of you, Sakleen. And of course, my sister, I will not reveal who she is as yet, but my sister, who is a strategic communication specialist, she helped out with the planning and the writing of the copies that went on the social media platform, because we did a 1-month launch. She helped with organizing the logo, formulating the concept of the graphics, just giving that strategic communication eye. And then Sakleen was like the man who did the graphics. He created the posters and set up all of these backstage broadcasting and those things, the technical things, right? And of course, he taught me how to do some of that, okay? And then later on, Bio joined the team. And you hear me talk about Bio all the time, and he doesn't like to be called out, I know, but he's a student engineer. You don't see him, but when you see things come on screen like Talk Truth Nugget and Back to the Beginning and all of that, that's him. He's there. Okay, my brother from Africa. So just thank everybody who has supported, for every single person who has liked the video, those who have commented, those who have shared. I see it on your WhatsApp statuses. I see it on your various social media platform. For all those persons who just reached out, whether you reached out on LinkedIn or on IG or on Facebook, or you WhatsApped me, whatever medium you used to send a message of congratulations, to send a kind word, to give a suggestion, whatever it is, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I always say this is not my channel. Yes, it is my channel, right? And I'm proud of it, but it's our channel and we have to work together. And I'm especially grateful for those persons who have never been victims of sexual trauma, but you saw it as your duty, you saw it as your responsibility to share so that others could be benefited. Mwah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. All right, so are you ready? The title for this evening, I know I chat a lot, but I'm kind of excited, you know what I mean? Because it's like 2 seasons, it's a big deal. So many women have been helped, and so many women have said to me, Popsan, or Mrs. Francis, some of my students have said to me, Miss, you know what? I may not comment, because I'm still, dealing with the shame and all of that, but I do watch. I do watch and I do follow you. And for those of you who are still not at the place where you want to comment and you want to say what you have been through, just the fact that you're watching and you know that you are not healing alone, but that we're healing together, that is enough for me. That is enough for me. All right. So please like, subscribe, and share the video. I can't sing, but I try to sing. That rhyme, right? All right. So I am going to be sharing with you how it all started back to the beginning, even before we air the first episode. And for those of you who are here, I have a question segment coming up. So call your friends and let us test your women healing together knowledge muscles or your talk truth muscles. Let's see how much you remember from this season. So Vaya, let's go and show them how it all began. Take it away.
How it all began. Are you ready? Take one.
Hi lovelies, Popsen here from Women Healing Together and host of Talk Truth. Season 1 was epic and life-changing, but season 2, it's going to be bigger and better as we partnership with LAX Society. Are you still grappling with the effects of childhood sexual trauma? Are you serious? Are you serious? Hi lovelies, Popsan Francis here, founder of Women Healing Together and host of Talk Truth.
Take two.
But season 2 is going to be bigger and better as we partner.
Are you partner?
Seriously?
Take three.
Life-changing, but season 2 is going to be bigger and better. Me not say partnership, cause me not look for them people, me look for the camera. Popsan Francis here from Women Healing Together and host of Talk Truth. Me find myself and look up.
No. Okay. Give me people.
Honey, me start record.
You.
Here from Women Healing Together and but season 2. I have a question or 3. And better as we partner.
Let's go.
Hi lovelies, Popsan Francis here, founder of Women Healing Together and host of Talk Truth. Season 1 of Talk Truth was epic and life-changing, but season 2, it's going to be bigger and better as we partner with the LAX Society. Are you still suffering from the effects of childhood sexual abuse? Do you even think that there's no way to overcome and heal? In season 2, we are going to be swapping surviving for thriving. We are going to be swapping the victim mindset for the victor mindset. We're also going to be featuring experts in the field of trauma and hear stories of women who are on their road of healing. Talk Truth is your safe space and your safe place where we have honest conversation for healing. Join me, premiere November 4, 2020, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can't afford to miss it.
I was dancing. Okay, so those are some of the bloopers. Jenny is like, oh yeah. Those are some of the bloopers, right, from when we were shooting Elmo Cop. It was fun. It was fun putting that together, and I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I'm going to be interspersing the questions in between as we go down memory lane. All right. And the first question is, and this should be a giveaway, right? Because let's see how observant you are. Including this episode, oh, this is such a giveaway. Including this episode, how many episodes have there been in season 2? Because as a child, I could not deal with it. And the can of worms were open for me when I became an adult and I got married and I realized that, whoa, this thing is affecting me. The insecurity, the rage, the shame, the anger. I thought, and I know that so many women right now are thinking, if I can just shut up, then it will go away. If I can just not talk about it, then it's going to go away. But how are we suffering? How are we suffering in the midst of our silence? And for mothers, how is your daughter suffering in the midst of your silence? How are we allowing the perpetuation of abuse to continue because we refuse to speak? And that is why we have called this show Talk Truth. We have to talk our truth, because when we talk our truth, healing begins. Not just healing for ourselves, but healing for others. All right, so I was just texting the engineer. So the question was, how many episodes are there, including this one? Put your comments down. If you are watching after the recording, put your comments down. Live chat people, put it in. Persons watching after, put it in. All right, so Jenny says 13. Really? You sure? Are you like, sure? 13. Great dedication. Mrs. Francis, love you. Love you too, Giovanni. I'm trying to get her on and she's not coming on. This is one of my closest friend. So give some pressure, all right, so she can come on. Giovanni, you said 12. Oh. My husband says 13. That's not fair. 13 is correct. So Honey Bunny, Donald, Tiona, hi Tiona. Tiona says 13. Giovanni, it's on the screen. It says it. Talk Truth, season 2, episode 13. So Tiona, Honey, and Janielle. Good job. All right, great. Now, episode 1 was shown just now. The title of that was My Story, Your Story, and I started season 2 with just talking about my story and helping us to understand that it's our story. I didn't count tonight. I said including tonight. I did. I did. All right. Another question for you is, when did we air the first episode? You have to give the month, you have to give the day, and you have to give the year. All right? Okay? And I'll get the responses when I come back. Now we are going to be looking at episode 2, how to know that childhood sexual abuse is affecting you. And this is a snippet. Dr. Shauna K. Wilkes was our guest psychologist. Take it away, Bio.
One of the key components of how someone can experience trauma is by blocking, right? or even numbing, so that by you don't want to have things replaying in your mind. You're trying to function. You're trying to get things done. You're trying to get to work. You're trying to complete your education. You're trying to raise your own family. You don't want to constantly think about these things. And with trauma, often the negative thoughts and negative flashbacks intrude themselves on your life without your permission. So many people use defense mechanisms to block, to not think about, to repress, to push down what is there, so that they're able to be adaptive and functional in their lives. Makes sense. But if it's not dealt with head on, it is going to manifest in other ways. So I think it's important for people to, give themselves grace for the fact that they don't want to think about how they were traumatized.
You see me in this posture, I'm like watching so intensely. Dr. Shauna K. Wilk, she was the very first guest on season 2, an amazing woman. And she helped us to understand how is it that as women, we can recognize if childhood sexual trauma, the experience is affecting us. Because so many times we think, hey, I'm okay, I'm fine. I'm doing what I gotta do. I have my education. I have my family. I look good. I'm fine. But we have some issues, right? That we need to get over and we need to get through. Giovanni, you're on a roll, but listen, I'm going to be the teacher. You must follow instructions. I said, you have to give the month, you have to give the day, as in the number, and you have to give the year. You miss it, so you get like 95%. Who else wants to try? And it was said, if you listen to the bloopers, I said it. What's the date? The date, the month, not necessarily the day of the week, but like November 2. Tiona is my past student. So the fact that she is so brilliant, yes, means teacher. Yes, Tiona, you are correct. So Tiona, the first episode for season 2 was November 4, 2020. Good job. Next question. Can't remember it. Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, Tiona help you. It was November 4, all right? Okay. We had a guest. I came on late-ish. Okay, cool. No problem. You're forgiven. But you must know. All right, Janiel is like, November 4, 2020. Okay, cool. Janiel, for this next question, you cannot answer. Or you can. You can. Let me see what you're going to say. All right, the next question is, we had one guest host. Oh, this is so easy. We had one guest host. What was her name? Type it in, type it in, type it in. And in the meantime, let's look at episode 3, domestic violence, myth, Donna and Tamara.
I had just graduated maybe a year or 2 with my first degree. I graduated with first class honors, top of my class, right? And here I am getting into a marriage where 2 months into the marriage, I experienced my first hit from a man that was not my father.
He tells us that they are experiencing domestic abuses to believe them. It's not our duty to act as detectives and all of that to figure out if it is true. The first step is to believe the person and try to get the help that the person needs. That you're out there, you're not even sure if you're experiencing domestic abuse. There is a power and control wheel that you can refer to. It outlines everything. If it's physical abuse, spiritual abuse, all of that, you can use it to identify where you are on that wheel and what it is that you're experiencing on that wheel.
That was such a powerful episode. In fact, that episode 3 with Tamara and Donna, I think that episode has got the most views. It's between episode 3, Tamara and Donna. Tamara is a survivor of domestic violence, intimate partner violence, who is doing absolutely wonderful. You can follow her on IG, on Facebook, and she has a YouTube channel as well, Tamara Hilltown Music. And Donna is a social worker, right? And that episode has done so well, along with episode 1, My Story, Your Story. So just wanted to point that out. All right, are you ready with the answers? Are you ready? Who was the guest? Giovanni, I'm so proud of you. Are you right though? Are you sure? Because if you don't spell the name correctly, you can't get it right. Look here, look at this one. Hold on. Look at this person. Janielle, Shoshana, Lambert, Saman. So do you think she should get it? Because she was the guest too. So she's like, look here, I have a friend, he died about 2-3 years ago. He would say, you're not more than me. You're not more than me. In other words, look here, you're not going to be better than I am. I'm going to prove to you that I'm just as good. So Janielle is like, oh, you guys are just going to say Janielle Salmon, but I'm going to give you my middle name and I'm going to give you my maiden name. And Janielle is actually my little sister. She's my little sister, and she's the communication specialist and strategist that I spoke with you about. And I have no shame in this. If you are in need of a communication specialist, a strategic communication specialist, send me an email at womenhealingtogether@gmail.com. Reach out to me on IG at Women Healing Together. Touch base with me on my Facebook page at Women Healing Together, or even on my private Facebook page, Pops and Francis, or on my LinkedIn at Pops and Francis, and I'll get you in touch with like the best of the best. Janielle Salmon. All right. It's the truth. It's the truth. Yes, girl, promoting you. All right, now time for episode 4. Can I heal? And just before we play that, I'm just going to drop a question in for you. Name the only male guest. If it's the first name, if it's the last name, whichever, just give me something. All right? We had one male guest. Give me some identification in terms of his name. And in the meantime, let's get back to the beginning with episode 4 with Tanisha Newland Spencer.
Take, for example, you have a physical wound. What happens is that you can always go, you can clean it up, you can bandage it, and you can leave it, and then the body will naturally heal itself. But if, for example, something should be stuck under it, like a thorn or a piece of stick or a splinter, then it's not going to heal, because that thing is always going to be inside, still creating havoc. And until that splinter or foreign matter is removed, then it's not going to heal. So for emotional healing, it is still the same way. Until we clear our psychological space, we declutter. So, for us women, one of the coping strategies that we have, and a lot of us tend to utilize it, is we compartmentalize things.
Yeah.
We put them into little boxes and we pack them away, because once we do that, it means that we're safe.
The question is, can I heal? I know you're typing the question, or you're searching somewhere to find, well, not typing the question, but typing the answer, or you're searching somewhere to find the answer. Who is the only male guest? Give me a last name. What is that, like Suzuki? Giovanni says Zuki. Giovanni, you are on a roll. Diana says Courtney Dookie, but Giovanni says Zuki. Anybody else? Anybody else? I want to hear. Courtney Dookie, what's your extra, sir? Extra? It's like extra Dr. Courtney Dookie. Yes, Diana. No, Giovanni, you can't change. No, you can't change. No. You said Zuki. He's like, for the rest of the time, I'm not saying anything. Come on. You are the life of the party. Correct. Dr. Courtney Dookie. Good job. Giovanni on a roll. Zuki. Lovely. Dr. Courtney Dookie. And we are turning our attention to episode 5. But just before we play that, I'm just dropping another question for you. And this one is, at the end of each episode, I always say something. In fact, it's like the motto of Women Healing Together. If you can remember it, you are like authentic. Oh, yeah. What's the other word I'm trying to find? Authentic. Authentic. No other word comes to mind. You're special. You are authentic. What I always say that one line at the end. Always. Or most of the time. And it's the motto of Women Healing Together. So while you think about it, let's turn our attention to episode 5 entitled Trauma and My Brain.
The body is still in that mode, fight or flight mode, survival mode. We're living in survival mode. Then the brain is going to be reacting as if it is still in danger. And that is why we find, yes, our perceptions our perceptions change. Our perceptions to situations are different. We're talking about, we see someone that that looks like or reminds us of that experience, right? And instantly our brain is going to be thinking, oh my gosh, I thought that was exactly that person. Or it could be a smell, it could be a sound. And your brain is going to be going back to that feeling, that moment, as if it were in the present moment. It's not playing tricks, it's just reacting because you're still in the survival mode.
Trauma and the brain. That episode, particularly for me, it was an eye-opening one because Sanya Duque, all right? Sanya Duque. She spoke about the fact that if I remember the brain stem, the brain stem, that part of the brain, it deals with survival. And so many times as survivors of childhood sexual abuse going on to thrivers, when we are in a situation where we feel threatened, it's like that is the system that's activated. So we get in survival mode. Because for so long I wondered, why is it that I become so defensive in certain situations? When I feel threatened, I become very defensive, and she helped me to understand that. And it's so interesting because so many persons would say, oh, Popsan, you're doing so well and you can talk about your trauma. But when these specialists come on Talk Truth, I soak things in. I not only ask the questions because you may email me or you may message me on my social media platform and you may say, hey, Popsan, I want to find out about this. But I also want to become better because as Tanisha Newland Spencer in episode 4, Can I Heal? She talked about the fact that it's a journey, and it is a journey. It's not something that you pack up and put away and forget about. My healing continues. And from day to day, it may not be every day, but sometimes I get into the victim mindset. Sometimes I become aggressive. Sometimes I suffer from depressive feelings. I just don't want to get out of bed. I just don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to just be by myself. And sometimes my husband has to say to me, come, get up. You have to get up out of the bed, come out of the house, especially seeing that we have gotten a little sun since the other day, although it snowed this morning. I don't mind, but I wanted a little heat, just a little. I prefer the snow any day over the heat. Can't manage the heat, can't manage. Side note though, so I even started walking because I had these depressive feelings just sitting on me for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Don't want to get up, don't want to do anything, just want to stay in bed. I show up for work and I do my work well, but after work is done, it's like don't want to do anything. And I started walking. So it's a journey. It's a journey for all of us. Now let me hear what people going to say now. What do I always say? So, women healing together. We heal so much better when we heal together. Are you sure, Giovanni? Because you're on a roll. You are calling people. Zuki, Janiel says we heal so much better when we heal together. Drops my bam. Conceited responses coming in. Conceited responses. You're like Dr. Dookie, Jania Shoshana, drops my anybody else. Anybody else. That is correct. I always say we heal so much better when we heal together. Can we give Giovanni a round of applause? I think this is the first answer that she got correct on the first go. Can we send some claps for Giovanni in the chat? Good job. Good job, ladies. Good job. All right. The next episode, we had this is a struggle. I hate mispronouncing people's names. I don't like it because I don't like when persons mispronounce my name. I've been called Papsan, Papson, Popsand, Papasan. I'm like, no, it's like popsicle. It's Popsan. Okay. So I struggle with this name. And Insider, before she came, okay, Ropa Cunningham, before she came on, a mental health specialist, I called her and I said, let me call your name. Just give me the opportunity to just repeat your name. And I repeated until I got it like 3 times in a row. And she said, Popsan, you got it now. Because I didn't want to mispronounce her name. So here I go. Oh, Lord. Vanessa. I think I got, or is it Vanessa? Oh, Lord have mercy. My darling Ven came on episode 6, Facing Guilt and Shame.
It's not the time to ask them for details. Well, tell me what happened.
Yes.
You're not the person that's going to be investigating this. You should be more concerned about the person's safety right now and the person's feelings right now. So save the 21 questions for a later time, but not initially. Exactly. And also save your own perception of what might have happened. If you do know the perpetrator, you don't need to say stuff like, well, I didn't see signs that he was this or she was that. That's not the time for it.
All right, so that was Vanessa. I got her name correctly. That episode was a powerful episode because she spoke about the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt is when you do something bad and you have remorse, right? Shame, it's one of the most debilitating human emotions because it makes the person synonymous with his or her action or his or her circumstance. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am bad, right? Guilt says, I am sorry. Shame says, I am just worthless. I am good for nothing. And so many survivors of childhood sexual abuse not only grapple with guilt, but we also grapple with the shame. So that episode was awesome. Now, here is your next question. We had a bonus episode. Because remember, we have 2 episodes each month, 1st and 3rd. But there was 1 month we had a bonus episode. Bonus episode. And here's a clue. We had 2 guests on that show. 2 guests, okay? That's your clue. What was the topic that we dealt with? You don't have to give me like the exact topic, but what was the topic? Not the title, like the specific title, but what was like the general theme of discussion for that bonus episode. Look here, we're really separating the real WHT family members, from the not saying anything. So think about that as we go on to episode 7, Healing Your Brain with Dr. Courtney Dookie.
The frontal lobe, which is deactivated by trauma, starts to become activated. In other words, as I get closer to God in prayer and meditation, my frontal lobe starts to become more active. And if my frontal lobe becomes more active, then I can process my experience with words, with ways that's going to be healthy and brings about healing. And this is just one simple kind of a brain spirit connection that is going on when we spend quality time meditating on the word of God, in the presence of God, and throughout the day we're seeing literally the brain start to shift. The more we do this, we start to initiate the process of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change.
Wow. Look here. This is what you get on Talk Truth. Meditation and science are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they're much more related. In fact, they seem to be one because of who we were created by God. This is a Talk Truth treasure. Did you know that your brain can physically heal from trauma? Not just healing because there has been physical impact, but trauma in terms of psychological and emotional and sexual and verbal trauma. God has created our brains in such a way that they can heal. Neuroplasticity. I learned a lot on that episode, especially the fact that meditation, and here in the context that we speak of meditation, it's not that type of medication. Meditation is biblical meditation, spending time to focus on the word of God, spending time in prayer, and spending time just connecting with him through nature. That's it. And he also spoke about the arts, the creative arts. And I remember on the episode, I said to Dr. Dookie, no wonder I was so drawn to the performing arts, dancing and drama, debating, that type of thing, because it helped me to cope as a teenager. All right, are you ready with your answer? What topic did we deal with in the bonus episode? No takers? I think, you know what I think? I think that there is a particular someone who may have 2 devices, and she is going through the videos on the channel, right? And she's seeing the titles and the guests, because no, sir, why you have to be behaving like that? Even, or I'm going to mark your heart. You put the punctuation marks in the wrong place. Going to mark your heart. I'm going to mark your heart, right? But you are correct, Janielle. We dealt with domestic abuse. But not only did you get accusations with 3 exclamations, I'm so sorry. Judge not, that ye be not judged. I take that in Jesus' name. But you are correct. We dealt with domestic violence. Now, let us go to episode 8, Getting Out and Staying Out with Tamara.
I shook it off. I buried my emotions. So it's not impacting me anymore. Now, if you've shaken it off and you've buried it, that means that you've not dealt with it. And that means that it's going to come back at some point and impact your relationships. Now, to figure out if it's actually impacting you or if you've actually dealt with it, you need to ask yourself some questions in particular areas. How am I thinking? Are there parts of me that I have suppressed? Because you say you've buried it. So if you've buried the trauma, have you buried pieces of who you are? Are there parts of you that you don't allow to shine, that you don't allow to be? So if you've buried it, then you've not really dealt with it. What is your thinking? What are your relationships like? Do you have trust with people, healthy trusting relationships? Do you have a healthy self-esteem? Or do you think and speak, negatively to yourself many times? How are your intimate relationships? Intimate relationships with friends, intimate relationships with your partner, the person you're going to marry, the person you're dating. What is that relationship like? What are your connections? How when you look at power and control, do you feel like you have power and control over your own life, over your own self? Now, if you're answering many of these questions in the negative, then I'm thinking you have buried it, but you have not dealt with it. And it may be shaken off, but it's still sitting at your feet. So it is something that you may need to address and deal with for it to really be something that you've grown through and incorporated in a healthy way, and have what's the word now, moved forward, or are moving forward in your journey of wellness.
Dr. Lewis, thank you for that, because I know there are many individuals here perhaps this evening who are saying, listen, yes, I've experienced trauma, but I'm good. I'm winning at life still. But you just highlighted that though you might appear to be winning at life, the mere fact that you would have buried some emotions, it begs the question, what else have you also buried with it?
Ah, that's my sister boo right there. No, that was not Tamara Hilton. That was actually Dr. Deidre Lewis, right? And the topic that she dealt with was getting to know you again. How can you get to know you after you would have lost you in trauma? So that was episode 9, not episode 8. Let us go to the fast question round. I have about 3 questions for you, and this is the speed section. Talk truth, challenge quiz. Question 1. There is one guest who appeared twice. What is her name? First or last name? Go. Should I say turtle section? One guest. She appeared twice. Twice. She was featured. First name will do. Last name. Speed section. Speed section. Anybody there? Janelle, you got it. Tamara Hilton. Next question. There were 2 guests and they shared close relationship or close relation. Jovan, you're coming second. 2 guests, they shared close relation. What is their relationship? Speed section. Fast fingers. Is this the story of the hare and the tortoise? Who shall it be? Hmm. 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 Fast fingers. Hmm. Hmm. I didn't ask you their names. I asked you their relation. But the Dookies, aka the Zookies, courtesy of Giovanni Redwood, and they are husband and wife. Very good. Or spouse. They're spouses. Very good, honey. Good job. Next question. Husband and wife. Good job, but you come in third. Next question. How many episodes did we address the brain? In how many episodes did we address the brain? No, people, this is not the speed section. I have to get a bell. Ding, 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 ding. Jania says 3. Why do I see? I typed it long time, but where is it? You think? Come on. Go again. Go again. Giovanni says she typed it. I don't know where it went. Johnny says 3. It's a ding. So let's go. How many episodes? I almost gave it away. How many? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You have to choose one. 5. Think you're smart. 4. For this? Yeah, this is 4. 3, 2. What did I do? 2. My motor skills are not happening. 1, 0. Come on. Come on. The answer is 2. By the Dookies. Sanya Dookie dealt with trauma. Trauma and the brain. Okay. Okay. Long after she types 2. Yes, and Dr. Dookie, that's Courtney, he dealt with how can we heal the brain. All right, we are moving right along. Let's head into the next clip. Right now, I'm not sure, honestly, if Tamara is going to come next or if Dr. Anderson is going to come next. So let's see what happens. Please, please.
So I think it's easy to focus on the act of sexual abuse and forget that it happens in a context. So it happens in a context perhaps where people are not believed, a child is not believed, a child is not seen or supported. It happens in this family or life context. And that is almost as important as the very act of sexual abuse itself. And in that context, you learn, my voice doesn't matter. That might be a belief that you carry with you into your adult life. And so then you live your life with my voice doesn't matter. And so you don't bother to use it because you've had that experience where people don't listen to it. Or you feel like my body isn't my own. You learn that my body isn't my own, and then you go and live your life as an adult as if your body wasn't your own. So those beliefs that you learn as you work through that trauma, grow through that trauma, carry itself into adulthood. And then you find yourself acting in adulthood probably in ways that sometimes might confuse you, you might not even be aware of, or maybe you're aware of it, but you can't stop it. And that's why it's so important to do what you're talking about, which is to talk about these things, look at these things, grow from these things, because they can be so far-reaching.
That was Dr. Anderson out of British Columbia, Canada, and she spoke about self-worth after trauma. Even if you have not experienced childhood sexual trauma, all of us, I believe, I'm going to be brave enough to say all of us at some point in time have struggled with our self-worth for various reasons. And something that stood out to me in that episode was that she said we may have self-esteem, high self-esteem in some areas and low self-esteem in other areas. I never thought about it like that, because people usually say, okay, once you have a low self-esteem in this particular context, they label you as suffering from low self-esteem holistically. So she shed light on that. Thank you, Dr. Anderson. We're almost there. All right, we have 2 more clips to play as we go back to the beginning. And while we play the first episode 11, are you an abuser and don't even know it? Before we play that clip, I want you to tell me, or should I wait until we finish all 12? I think I'll wait. Okay, so here's the question. I want to find out, how has Talk Truth impacted you or someone you know? I want to hear your thoughts, right? How has it impacted you? Was there any point through season 2 that you said, that one is really insightful, or that resonated with me? And this disclaimer, this does not mean that you are a victim or a survivor, rather, of childhood sexual abuse, but you know me, I'm not ashamed to say what I've been through. But there are some persons who may be uncomfortable because you're thinking, if I comment, then people are going to think that. No, Some persons watch because you want to be supportive. Some persons watch because they want to be informed and sensitized, and they just want to see other women do well. So whatever category you find yourself in, let me know how season 2 has impacted you as we go to the clip from episode 11. Are you an abuser and don't even know it? I believe that as adults, the onus is on us to ensure that our children are protected from us and from other persons who will cause any type of conflict on. And it's big, it's like putting on your big girl underwear now, right? That's what we're doing here, because so many times we look at what other persons have done to our children, how other persons have caused them to be hurt and living in trauma, but how have we contributed to that? All right. So many adults believe that children don't have feelings. I'm here to break it to you. Children are human beings. They have feelings. So if as adults, if we can feel embarrassed, if we can feel berated, if we can feel frustrated and angry and belittled, guess what? Children have those feelings too. And those feelings start manifesting from early. So many times we say, do unto others as we would have them do unto you. But now I amend that to say, do unto children as you would have them do unto you. The onus is on us to stop the cycle, right? It's on us. Why is it on us? Because I started out by saying, we have experienced it. We know the effects. We know what it feels like. And if we have experienced it, we need to stop it by breaking the cycle for the next generation. Amazing. That episode was close to home. Close to home. And I really wanted to share that. So we have to all ask ourselves the question, are we an abuser? And we don't even know that we are being abusive. Now it's time to share your talk truth nugget, right? Your talk truth nugget. How has season 2 impacted you? Is there anything that stood out to you? Is there anything that resonated with you? Did you get additional insight, new perspective, anything that caused your skin to tingle, anything that you said, I need to do something better, or I need to do something different, that type of thing? Please type in the chat if you are live with us, and if you're watching afterwards, I invite you to comment below, because the more we comment, the more we engage, and the more we interact, it helps the channel. And if it's helping the channel, it means that it's helping to reach more women and men too, because men do participate and they do watch. So I'd love to hear your comment. Neva says, pleasant good evening to everyone. Good evening, Neva. Good evening. You're late, but at least you come. Better late than never. Good evening. All right, so let me know how that has impacted you as we close off with our very last clip. This one was a powerful one. Oh my word. Pastor Latoya Wright, finding God in trauma. As you're going through all this trauma, are you ever angry with God? I hear you talking about love for God now and all of that. What was that interaction like with you and God before you reached the place where I trust you, you're my daddy? Walk with us through that stage.
I was pissed at him. I'll be honest with you. It was because I had made a deal with him when I was younger. I wanted to get baptized. So my mom thought I was too young. So I kind of went off in a tangent and I made a deal with him. And I said, hey, I want to get baptized. So here's the deal. If you allow her to have me get baptized. My life is yours. Do whatever you want to do with me. And I remember making that deal with him and expecting the greatest of life. And the sexual abuse happened right after that. Right after that, within a month or so. So for me, it was like, really, God? You gonna play me like that? This is what you're gonna do with me? I made a pact with you. You're supposed to be the ever-loving father taking care of your children. My life was over.
Wow.
And it was because I thought I was blaming it on him, because I said, had I not made that deal with you, I would have been okay. So a very, very long time, I would be really honest with you and tell you that I knew in the back of my head that he was with me because I was escaping so much danger with these men. I knew that he was with us because we were still eating. We still had a roof over our head, you know, the basic stuff, right? But as far as him having a personal and intimate relationship with me and having control of my life, I didn't trust him. And I did not. I cry. I used to cry and cry. I was hurting. I was in pain. My tears were painful. I was in pain.
How else can we find God in trauma?
Number one for me is realizing or recognizing when someone shares with you that Jesus knows exactly what you're going through. When he says, I have been touched with everything that you've gone through, it was confusing for me for a long time when I would say, well, how does he say he understands and he's touched when he wasn't sexually abused? He wasn't raped. He didn't have divorce. I'm a divorcee. He didn't suffer from spousal abuse. You know what I mean? Like, so it was hard for me to connect with him and go to him on that. The thing is, like, if we don't trust someone and know that someone understands our story, we will not tell them. That's human relations, right? So the same with God. If we don't think he gets it because he's God or he's a man, right? What am I going to him about that? I can't go tell him about my breast hurt or whatever. What am I doing that? He don't get it. So it was hard for me because I did not have understanding. When I looked at the cross and I really understood the cross and got the clearer picture, not the European whitewash Jesus on the cross. When I saw the Jesus on the cross naked before people with his genitals out, that's how he was crucified, with his genitals out, and recognizing that it is the same exposure that I have with people knowing my story, with this man touching me and in places where it's not supposed to be seen, when I am exposed, when people talk about me, and the shame I feel when people, it's like I'm in the closet, right? And they just expose my bones for the world. That's shameful. That's literally taking all of my clothes off and putting me before the world high up. When I look at him being high up in front of men and women and children, naked and beat and mocked and told that he's not who he is and ostracized and bullied, I'm saying, my God, this is exactly what I'm going through. And I saw that Jesus. That's what made the difference for me. I was like, if you could expose yourself for me, just me, if you could do that for me, and if you could keep coming back to me every time I tell you get away, every time I cuss you out, every time I tell you you weren't there for me, and you keep saying to me, I love you, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I am your father. I am your God. I'm your husband. I'm not going anywhere. I don't care how much you hit me. I am not anywhere. I cannot help but break my defenses, because that's what love and persistent love does.
Wow. I have that episode was on a totally different level. I've been a Christian since I was 14, right? And just Sunday gone, I celebrated my 32nd birthday. So my age is officially off the calendar. And it was the first time in my journey having grappled with the effects of childhood sexual trauma from a very tender age. It was the very first time I saw the comparison between Jesus in terms of sexual exposure and myself. And Latoya did that for me. Yes, I knew that the European, as she says, whitewashed, put a little cloth around his genitals, not to make it look as horrible as it really was. But when Pastor Latoya described that, I'm like, yes, it's true. Jesus knows what it's like to be exposed sexually, right? In terms of his genitals out there, because that's how you feel. That's how you feel as a survivor. You feel as if you are walking around naked and persons can just see right through you. And that was a big difference. That made a big difference in my life. Big difference. And thank you so much for that. Janielle says, this is her talk truth nugget. She says that episode with the power of control wheel was quite insightful. Very practical way of identifying where we are on the spectrum of domestic violence. That's Janielle's talk truth treasure. And that was episode number 3, the bonus episode with Tamara Hilton and Donna Campbell. Domestic violence myth. And Janelle is saying that was it for her. Check that out. Check that out. Very insightful indeed when Donna shared about the power and control wheel. And I actually had women watch the episode and they contacted me on social media to say, where can I find it? Where can I find it? And I actually just researched it and send it to those who wanted to know. Thank you so much for sharing that. Please let us know how season 2 has impacted you, whether it's a 1 word, 2 word, 3 word, 4. Would really like to know that. All right, so the last question is, and I think Janiel answered that question because she specified the episode. Was there a particular episode that resonated with you? Was there a particular episode? This is episode 13. You may not even remember the name of the episode or the number, but at least some identifying factor. Maybe it was the guest, maybe it was the topic. Was there any specific episode that resonated with you? All right. And as you think about that, and we come to the close of season 2. If you were here for the bloopers, 2. I have given you a snippet of all 12 episodes. So if you missed any, you have gotten the high points or points of each. Please feel free when you are able to check them out. So as we're going through, or as we have gone through all 12 episodes prior to this one, if there's one that resonated, I hope you made jottings and it's there for you to watch. All right, so we are about to close. I want to thank all 181 subscribers. Every single one of you who subscribed to the channel, and every single one of you who hit the all notification bell. And as we close off, I want to ask a favor of you. We have 181 subscribers. I'm sure there are much more women, or many more, many more women out there who need to know about this channel. Okay? So if one subscriber, we have 181, if each subscriber, I should say, shares a link to a video, just each person share the link to the channel and encourage your family, encourage your friends. Just put it out there. Put the link out on your social media platforms, every single one of them. And just let us get together so that other women may be benefited with the channel. The channel overall, Women Healing Together, yes, and also Talk Truth when we come back for season 3. Thank you so very much for your support, for your love. Now is the time to get your last words in. Get them in. We're about to end. Caesar. Okay. Giovanni says, congrats. Wonderful journey. Keep on keeping on. Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you for your support, for your love, for all the time that you have tuned in, for commenting. You're one of the persons who comment and you show up, and we really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you have helped to make it possible. All right. We are about to close off, make history by sending in your comments before we go. Keep on doing what you do through Women Healing Together, WHT. By God's grace, we will continue to touch the lives of women who are struggling because of sexual trauma. Though Talk Truth is going to be off air for a little while, okay? Stay tuned for the promotion for season 3. Though we're going to be off air for a little while, I'm going to be, I have some news to tell you, but wait a bit, all right? We're going to be off air for a little while, but I will be posting videos. Not lives, maybe some lives, but not Talk Truth. Posting videos on different issues surrounding women. So please subscribe. Which side is it on? Is it this side or this side? I don't know. But subscribe and hit the all notification bell so you can be informed. Okay? Janiel says it was a great season. Looking forward to season 3 and beyond. Let's get that healing going. God bless your ministry. Thank you so much, sis. Tiona says, for me, season 2 was mind blowing. All right, but don't make it blow your mind too much. Keep your mind together. My jokes are corny. If you don't know me personally, my jokes are always corny. And I laugh at my own jokes because they're funny to me. All right, my lovelies. God bless you. Thank you so much to every single person, to my family, to my husband who is with me all the time. God bless you. And what do we always say? We heal so much better when we heal together. Take care. Bye.